No one believed a poor farmer could tame the wild stallion that had thrown off every rider. But when he did, the princess gave him more than just a reward. She gave him her love, like, "Share and subscribe. No matter who you are, this story will touch your soul." Let's begin. The royal arena buzzed with tension. Thousands of eyes stared at the enormous black stallion as it reared, its hooves pounding the ground like thunder. Keepers held ropes tight, yet the beast ripped free, its mane wild, its nostrils flaring. The horse was said to be untamable. The finest knights had tried, each one confident, each one thrown into the dirt within seconds. Broken bones and shattered pride littered the past attempts. Whispers spread among the crowd. "This horse is cursed," they said. It was the pride of the kingdom, but now a symbol of shame. At the center of it all sat the princess. She was young, beautiful, with eyes sharp as steel. Her father, the king, had declared that whoever could tame the beast would earn gold beyond imagination. The princess, half mocking, half frustrated, had added her own daring words. "If anyone tames this stallion, I'll marry him," she announced that morning. Her voice had echoed like a challenge across the court. Most thought it was a joke. A farmer, a peasant, marry into royalty? Impossible. Yet those words clung to the air, like a fire waiting for a spark. In the shadows of the arena, a man stepped forward. He was not a knight, not dressed in armor, not holding polished weapons. He was a poor farmer named Arin, his clothes rough, his hands calloused from years of toil in the fields. He had no noble title, only a heart hardened by struggle and eyes that carried quiet determination. The crowd jeered as he entered. Some laughed outright. Others muttered, "He'll be crushed in seconds." The princess arched a brow, her lips curling into a smirk. She didn't believe for a moment that this man could do what warriors had failed to achieve. But deep down, there was a flicker of intrigue. What kind of man had the courage to step into the storm knowing the odds? Arin didn't speak. He simply approached the raging stallion. His steps were steady, his eyes fixed on the beast. While others had tried to dominate it with force, he moved differently. He extended a hand, calm, slow, as if reaching for an old friend. The stallion snorted, pawing the ground, ready to strike. But Arin did not flinch. He whispered softly, words no one else could hear, his tone low, steady, like a lullaby. The laughter in the stands grew louder. "Look at him," they mocked, a farmer whispering to a monster. But the princess leaned forward, curiosity breaking through her disbelief. Arin's hand touched the horse's mane. The stallion jerked, its muscles rippling with fury. Yet he held firm, not with force, but with patience. He stroked the animal gently, as though calming a frightened child. Slowly, the stallion's breaths grew less violent. Its ears twitched forward, listening. Its hooves stopped their wild pounding. The arena fell silent. People leaned forward, unable to believe what they were seeing. The untamable beast was lowering its head toward the farmer. As hours turned into days, Arin stayed with the stallion. He fed it with his own hands, slept nearby on the cold ground, never leaving its side. While knights had treated it like an enemy, he treated it like a wounded soul. The princess often came to watch, pretending not to care. But her heart betrayed her. She saw something rare in him: humility, patience and strength, not born from swords, but from spirit. One morning, the sound that no one thought they would hear filled the air. The stallion neighed, not in rage, but in calm recognition. It allowed Arin to climb onto its back. For a moment, the crowd held its breath. The stallion shifted, as if ready to throw him like all the others. But then it stilled. Under his hands, it accepted the rider. The arena erupted. Cries of disbelief. Cheers, gasps filled the space. The king rose to his feet, his crown gleaming in the sun. The princess, for the first time, let her mask fall. Her lips parted, her eyes wide. Not in mockery, but in awe. He had done it, a farmer. Not a knight had achieved the impossible. Arin dismounted, his face lined with sweat and dirt, yet his eyes shone with quiet triumph. The princess approached, her steps graceful, her heart pounding louder than the crowd. She looked into his eyes and whispered, "You did it, you tamed the untamable." His voice was low, but steady. "You said you would marry the man who could." She froze, remembering her words spoken in jest, never meant to be real. Yet in front of her stood the man who had turned jest into truth. She was not a woman who broke promises. With the kingdom watching, she took his hand firmly and declared, "This man has courage greater than knights, patience greater than scholars, and a heart strong enough to calm the wildest of beasts. I will honor my word." Whispers swept through the crowd. A farmer marrying a princess? It was madness, yet it was happening. Days later, announcements spread across the land. Invitations were sent even to the poorest huts. The wedding of the princess and the farmer would be celebrated by all. On the wedding day, Arin stood in a suit that felt strange on his rugged frame. He had known ploughs and seeds, not silks and jewels. But when the princess walked down the aisle in a gown shimmering like the morning sun, all doubts faded. She wasn't just a royal anymore. She was a woman who had seen his soul, and she had chosen him. The vows were simple. She promised to never see him as beneath her. He promised to never see her as beyond him. They would walk side by side. When they kissed, the kingdom erupted with cheers. Peasants wept. Knights lowered their heads in respect. Even the stallion neighed as though blessing the union. But the story didn't end there. Together, they ruled with wisdom and kindness. The farmer's knowledge of hard work met the princess's vision of leadership. He created programs to help poor farmers. She reformed laws to bring fairness to common folk. The kingdom flourished like never before. Years later, their daughter stood beside the once wild stallion, her small hand stroking its mane. Arin knelt beside her, placing a simple rope in her hand. "Remember, this horse was once untamable. Everyone said it was impossible. But impossible is only a word. It is courage that tames the wild." She nodded, smiling as her mother watched with pride. Together, they had built more than a kingdom. They had built a legacy, and it all began the day a poor farmer dared to step forward, tamed the untamable, and won both a stallion's loyalty and a princess's heart.